Well, I mean, I'd start off with, really, it's a great opportunity for us. It was great to see our guys be able to scratch and claw at some things, put themselves into some situations in a position where, we got to see a little bit more again what they're made of in a tough environment, in a tough place. The way they prepared for this thing, it wasn't something out of the ordinary, and I think that's what we're trying to do as a newer program, and what we're trying to establish is not make this a one-game season and never talked about it as a shock of the world. But, hey, it's about a process to us, doing what we need to do, finding a way to be a fighting group and to scratch and to claw and do the things we need to do to make us successful. And, there's a lot of positives we can get out of this thing today. The guys' ability to come together, the guys' ability to pick one another up. The offense, maybe has a bad player, throws a pick six, and the first guy's down there to pick them up, or some of the guys on the defensive side of the ball. And, those are the positives you take out of it. Our ability to finish is a stress for our program. The ability to play your best ball in the fourth quarter because of the way you train. Our ability to play the best ball at the end of the year because of the way we train and the way we stay together. That's the thing that kind of hurts and really kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth that, just whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, all there down the stretch, had the little things where we can't do to be a great football program. Again, the game plan and the things that we had to do and knew we needed to do was to get this thing to the fourth quarter. We couldn't have a lopsided time of possession like we had last week. And if you look up there and it's balanced up the entire way, so we were right where, you kind of had a plan to try to hope to be, in that situation where you can be down 3 points or 7 points and, where the time of possession is still good. And so there's some opportunities, yes. But it's not like you gave up away an opportunity offensively. It's everything. It's special teams, You have an opportunity to pooch the thing in, and we only kick it 22 yards. You have an opportunity defensively, ball's back down on the 14-yard line, and you give up a 65-yard run. Again, it's the ability for us all to look at ourselves and find ways we can get better. I think the ability for us to stay with some balance. You got to give Coach Denbrock and his guys some credit. I know that, the things that are glaring and stare out at you is pick sixes, but the ability to put something together to say, hey, I know that we're not just going to take shots and do the things we need to do. We need to make sure we can find a way to slow this thing down a little bit, play a type of game that will give us an opportunity, defensively to be able to battle in there and do some things. So to see us kind of come together as a team, put a game plan together to really kind of say, hey, what we need to do to be successful. I think that's some of those things. It's still a growing process for us as coaches, to figure out each other and to find out how we can best do things.
Why did Gantz not kick?
We had a competition this week, and Gantz has a little bit of a groin issue and some things that still kind of nag him a little bit. But we went out and we competed this week, and we said, hey, we're going to compete. We're going to chart every kick, and it's the way of the world. And, not that we're discounting anybody, and we expect Gantz to be back. And hopefully he, gets healthy and, his groin feels better and he's back to his normal self.
You mentioned, Coach, the top 22 on each team, maybe not that much difference in, quote, talent. Does it come down
I said speed. I'm not sure I said talent.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was straight track speed, which we don't play. It's not played on a track. But, yeah.
But outside of that, does a game like this, did it come down to depth at all? Was that a factor?
No, it comes down to, I think that their ability to finish, and that maybe having a little bit more time and the guys understand and not panicking, where all of a sudden they're in a situation. I would have said that, last week a little bit where we kind of got wore down defensively after 84 snaps. But I don't know that we got wore down. We gave up some big plays. I think it's a little bit more of us just understanding that, we got to make adjustments and we got to recognize things, by the end of the game. There's a couple toss plays that after the third time they did it, unfortunately it was the fourth one that we recognized and made it for a 2-yard loss. So there's a lot of those things but I wouldn't sit there and say that, hey, we got wore down. I wouldn't say that, it was a speed factor. I just think they did a better job of finishing.
Overall, were you happy with the
No.
your defense?
No, there's a lot of things that come out of here that you're positive about, and we'll build. But I told those guys in the locker room, if this doesn't hurt in your stomach and burn, then you're not on the right path for what we want. But there are, and we'll lift up, pick up, build up these guys, and we'll make sure we look at it, and take away the positives. But for us to be where we want to be, there's things we got to correct, and there's an expectation that, that no matter what, whether you're down 3 late in the third quarter, that you got to expect that you're going to be able to make some plays, and you're going to expect to pull these things out.
Hayden was under a lot of pressure. How did you think he played overall?
Well, again, we'll have to go back and take a peek. He did what we asked him to do. Again, the last throw is something that's going to, haunt him or haunt us in the long run. But overall, I mean, the guy pulled it down. He ran it. He did some really good things. We got to have more consistency, and we got to get to that end point where we just got the confidence and the belief that the things that we've been doing are going to get us an opportunity to be successful, as opposed to have to think sometimes maybe, and I'm not saying just him, but everybody in general, they got to play out their shoes there down the stretch to make something happen when we're talented enough to continue to do things we need to do and stay together.
And the safety, was that just a communication on the snap down?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll take it on me. I got him out there a few seconds too late, and they were worried and rushed it a bit. And I haven't talked to James about it, but I know that that was a thing for us last week that I kind of caused us 2 delay games, and I can't do that.
He dropped 2 early scores on the road against the 8th-ranked team in the country. What does it say about the character of this team that they fought? I told them that playing together is one thing, and they did that. They did. They played together. They fought back. They were down 14. I didn't see some of the looks that I saw last week. The shock of things aren't going really well. Even last week, I didn't see those looks. So I think, that process of playing together, I think we've learned a lot in just 2 weeks. The real trick will be, can we stay together? As we continue to push this thing and to continue to increase the expectations in everything we do, we got to be able to stay together and make sure that we know that it's not about one guy, one man, one team, one coach, one side of the ball. Coach, it seems like you had some problems on pre-snap plays, 3rd down. How frustrating is that to watch? Some delay of games, call timeout penalties.
It is at times, but again, we knew that our ability to snap the ball in 17 seconds was not going to be what was going to be best for us. So if that meant that we were going to try to get in the right play at the right time, we're not going to put that on the kids. That's us. That was a little bit of the game plan, and we had to be willing to say, hey, we might take a delay a game here and there. We don't want them. We don't want to waste our timeouts. But we got down to that situation. We had a situation right before the half. I know that all of us can do a better job at finishing that half the right way and getting 3 points out of that. So, there's a lot of learning things, not just for the kids and our team, but our coaches and the way we do things together too.
Were there any specific adjustments that you guys made coming out of the half, or was it just better execution that led to that long opening drive in the second half?
No, again, offensively, they just kind of put their heads together to say, hey, what are the things we're doing? What can we do? How do we continue to not panic and give ourselves an opportunity to get this thing later in the game and still be in the situation that we want to be in and not just think, hey, whatever happens, we got to go out and score right away. But the way you come out, you measure your team the way you come out to start the game, and you measure your team the way you come out at halftime. And I thought we did a really good job of coming out at halftime. The offense had a good plan, and they did a great job at executing.
Obviously, you and your coaching staff have a process and timing looking ahead to the next game, but how much of a believer are you in this kind of experience helping for next week's huge rivalry game with Miami?
Well, I'm a huge believer in as long as we use it the right way. And I think that's where, you got to stress the things in the locker room that, the expectations that you have for your guys that, no, I didn't want to see a smile in there. I didn't want to see anybody that didn't have a little hurt and a burn, because of the way they prepare, the way they train. So, that's a part of what it is that we're doing, that we didn't make this a one-game season. We didn't say, maybe somebody said it, but you never heard me say, let's go shock the world and things like that, because I know that this is, a part of us building what it is that we need to build. And it's not about a one-game thing. We'll turn ourselves in a few short hours to a rivalry game and making sure that we can move forward and take the positives from this thing like we'll always do.
As a coach, you never want to believe that your team loses focus, especially this early in the season, but with that game being the rivalry that it is, do you think it helps a little bit keep their focus?
I think so. I think this will be my first time in the rivalry game, and this has been the rivalry game for me, so I'm very well aware of what rivalries mean and how you need to prepare for them and the expectations that you need to have. And I think that these guys will feel that really quick, really soon.
You he's going to see more and more. And, you know, he'd been out. He unfortunately hurt himself a couple weeks ago. He was one of our best special teams guys. You know, we really didn't even use him on special teams this week because he's really just coming back from the elbow. But I think he gives us a little different punch. And he's a guy that we got to find some more ways and get him in the game and, you know, find some opportunities for him to touch the ball more.
Was there anything about this Michigan team that surprised you?
No, I think, again, the size. I mean, up front, defensively up front, you know, they've got size. I mean, you could turn it on, and we know they can run. I think they're aggressive in the things that they do. But you know, to be able to roll in 3 tailbacks, you know, they got some new wideouts that were probably faster than I had maybe anticipated or maybe had even seen from last year.